Thank you for joining us again. This is Ultimate Academy's team, and this is going to be lecture number 8 of ONYX Financial Track. And our topic for this lecture is going to be General Ledger Input. So the first screen that we will be going through is going to be Open Account Request. We use this screen to open a new account for employees who do not have the privilege on the system to create a new account themselves. So you will click on Add, and the system will automatically select the chart of accounts as the type. In parent account, you will just need to fill in the parent account code. And in account number, you will need to write down the number of the account that you want to create. Of course, you will fill in the account name and the foreign name. And in accounts reports types, there is a drop-down menu that contains the reports balance sheet and income statement, which we have added already from General Ledger setup screen. And then from accounts group, you will find the groups that you have added in case you've added any groups from General Ledger setup in this drop down menu here. So basically you can connect the account that you're creating with the group of your choice according to your needs. And in remarks, you can just add basically any relevant notes to the account. And that's everything for the screen. So we'll move on to the next one. The next screen is cash in hand. So we'll click on Add, and the first field we'll find is cash number. So the system fills in the ordinal number automatically once you click on Add. Then we will just type in the name and the foreign name as well. Alright, so then in cash account field, we'll select the number of the account to which we will connect the safe. Just hit F9 to view the existing accounts and select the relevant one. In sequence, we'll manually type in the number of the safe. And then in type drop-down menu, we'll find 5 methods to how this safe will deal with the transactions. Receipt, payment, receipt and payment, sales and purchases, and exchange currency. You will select, of course, the proper method according to your business needs. In branch drop-down menu, you'll find the branches, and you can select the branch that will be linked to or connected to the safe. As for inactive checkbox, you'll basically deactivate this box. You will deactivate this safe if you check the box, which means that you will not be able to use it in any transactions. If you check the box, of course, you can fill in the inactive reason, and the inactive date will come up automatically. On the lower left, you'll see the currency table, and you will see the currencies that are linked to the account that you have selected. The checkboxes on the left are used to select the currency you're using, and the checkboxes on the right are used to deactivate a currency. Alright, so the screen we have next is Cash at Bank. And from the screen, the user can add banks in the system. So the first field we have here is bank number, and that one is automatically filled in. And on the right, there is interface bank checkbox. So this one is to make this bank an interface bank so that the transactions or the interactions made on this bank do not reflect on the bank account's balance until we close the interface account in the actual bank account. So you will fill in the bank name and the foreign name. And alright, so after we fill that in bank account field, you will just hit F9 to select the account to which we will link this bank in the chart of accounts. Then we have 2 tabs. We'll open up the first one, which is Master Details. The first field is Sequence, where you can manually type in the sequence of this bank. Then we have Account Number in the bank, which is the actual account number at the bank that you're dealing with. As for telephone number, fax number, postal code number, PO box, email address, website, and address, all of those fields are basically for adding the details of the bank that you're dealing with. In group code drop-down menu, we will see the bank groups that the user added from bank's group screen. You can select the group that you want to link this bank to. And then notes payable and notes receivable, and also check payment interface accounts. Those are for adding interface accounts for payments, receipts, and checks, so it doesn't impact the actual bank account. To link these fields with any account from the chart of accounts, you will of course click on the field and then you will press on F9. On the right, you'll find a box where you can add a logo for the real bank that you're dealing with. We already explained inactive and inactive reason in several screens actually. And also the currency table. The only difference in this screen that we have is that we can link the currency to the bank account number. For example, if you're dealing with, let's call it X bank, using more than one currency, that bank will give each currency you're dealing with a different account number. So in this table, you can actually link the currency with the relevant or the actual bank account number. Alright, so the second tab that we have is credit card commissions. To add the credit card type, you will click on the field and then press F9 so you can bring up the list of credit card types that you've already specified from the sales module. Credit card name will come up based on the credit card type, and in commission you will specify the percentage of the commission. Due period by days is where you enter the due period. And the next screen that we have, because we're actually done with this one, is going to be Checkbook. So we'll close this one and we'll bring up the other. From this screen, we can add a checkbook and link it to the relevant bank account. To the relevant bank, or basically the bank that issued the checkbook. The screen is divided into two sections. The upper section, as we can see here, is for the checkbook's details. So in bank number field, you will press F9 to select the bank. Bank name and currency will both come up automatically or be filled in automatically based on the bank that you chose. As for checkbook number, you will fill that in. The next two fields, from check number to check number, is where you specify the serial numbers of the checks that are in that checkbook. After we click on the plus sign, the lower section will be automatically filled based on the data that you just entered. We'll discuss status a little bit more in the table that we have here. After adding a new checkbook, all the checks will be marked as new in the status. The check that you've already used in a transaction will be marked as used, not new. So status here is basically to help you know which check has been used and which is still new. Alright, so we'll move on to the next screen. It's gonna be limit setup. So this screen is basically for setting up limits for the value of the accounts. These limits will be the minimum and the maximum value for the account, and these limits can actually be exceeded according to your choice, and you can select that from Exceed Limits drop-down menu. You can also select the type of the limit, whether it's debit or credit. From this screen, you can also specify the limits for the transactions as well, minimum and maximum value per transaction. You will fill in the upper section in the screen, and the lower part will be filled in automatically after you click on filling data. And also, if you want to update old data, you can just click on update data. An additional tip, when you select the account type from the menu, for example, let's say that you've selected bank and then you go to the field from account, you will hit F9 and then the system will show you only the accounts that have been identified as bank related from the chart of accounts screen. The next screen that we have is Financial Reports Designer. You can design the financial reports from the screen according, of course, to the company needs, like the balance sheet and the income statement. You don't need, however, to design cash flow because it already exists in the system. We'll talk first about article connect type. When you choose unconnected, it means that the article name is not connected to any account. However, if you choose accounts, from the drop-down menu, that means that you can connect the article you've added to an existing account. To specify the account that you want to link it to, you will click on the arrow and a window, that arrow right there, and a window will come up from which you can select the account. If you choose formula, that means that you will basically mix more than one article together, and you will need to specify the formula in the relevant field, which is formula. When you hover on formula, the field itself, it will give you a sample to help you build your own formula. Final note on the screen, you don't need to fill in all the data at once. You can save and then later on modify or enter more details. Alright, so the next and the final screen that we have is opening balance. From this one, you can add an opening balance for any account in the chart of accounts. To do that, you will just click on the plus sign, select the type. As we've already agreed that when you select the type, the system will show you the accounts that are related or classified as that type. So when you hit F9 in the From Account field, it will show you the accounts that are related to the type that you chose. Alright, so in bank number, we'll press on F9 and we will see the banks that are that we have linked to the account that we've selected in the previous field. Then you will click on autofill and the system will fill in the first 5 fields in the table. Then we will enter the balance, which should be either debit or credit. If it's local, then it will be in the debit or credit. However, if it's foreign, then you should enter the debit foreign or credit foreign. This was the first way of adding an opening balance. There is also a different way to go about this, which is using an Excel sheet. You'll first of all click on the icon on the top. Yep, that one. After you click on it, you will click on add. And then you will click on add first actually, and then you will have to specify the Excel sheet, the Excel path. Click on the folder sign to browse your computer, and then you will have to select the Excel path. After you've selected the Excel path, open it, then click on import from Excel. Now you will select the Excel sheet that contains your data, and when you hit open, the system will automatically read the data in the sheet. Side note, actually the system will give you tips on how to create the Excel sheet. That's everything that we have for this lecture. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and also Instagram. We will see you again in the upcoming lecture, and thank you so much.